Number 10, Cry Me a River. Cry Me a River by Justin Timberlake is a very catchy song, okay? It's super mean and clearly about Britney, but still, catchy. When the song was first released, Britney was sideswiped. Even the music video was clearly aimed at Britney, even casting a lookalike to play an unfaithful girlfriend. In The Woman in Me, Britney's new book, she reflected on the plot of the 2002 video, describing as a woman who looks like she cheats on him and wanders around sad in the rain, which is a very solid summation. The media backlash from the video painted Britney as a harlot who'd broken the heart of America's golden boy when she was actually comatose in Louisiana and he was happily running around Hollywood. Comatose in Louisiana sounds like the title of a book about a young man trapped in the swamps of Louisiana. I have to go write something down. Britney admitted that she was unfaithful to Justin. In a way, she kissed choreographer Wade Robson while she was still dating Timberlake. Following the split in 2002, Justin went public claiming that he would not tell anyone who his songs were actually about, telling people that they were self-explanatory. Karma came back to bite him when a book about his misdeeds was published and it sold out in the first week. It's kind of the karma that came back on the whole thing. Number 9, Palmer. Justin's current wife is no stranger to her husband being a pain in the neck. One night a few years back, Justin was spotted holding hands with his Palmer co-star Alicia Wainwright while he was still very much married to Jessica Biel. Of course, the internet being what it is, saw this man holding another woman's hand and automatically assumed that he was cheating on her, and I'm sorry, but that is silly, and if you saw that picture back in the day and thought that, then that's also silly. Justin was forced to release a public statement clarifying that he had in fact not done anything bad with his co-star at all. He had a bit too much no-no juice, he wasn't paying attention to how he was acting, He claims to have grown closer to his co-star, but in more of a brother-sister kind of way. Jessica forgave him, but he continued to showcase a pattern of careless actions, especially with his wife. He's used offensive accents and language during interviews and even while on stage performing his music, but we'll get into that in a moment. Because Justin associates himself with rap a lot, he seems to think that he's good to use slang and speak with accents that just do not sound right coming out of him. Jessica and Justin actually posted a photo together on Instagram with the caption, "Here we come and dang my wife is hot, hashtag time's up, hashtag why we wear black." Again, I'm gonna get a little deeper into that in a few minutes. For those who have forgotten, hashtag time's up and the fact that everyone was wearing black at the Grammys in 2018 was to stand in solidarity with survivors of mistreatment, so bad move. Number 8, Britney Spears. It should come as no surprise that Britney Spears is one of the first people that I'm going to be talking about on this list as someone who is the reason for karma coming on to Justin Timberlake. She literally writes about this man in her memoir so much, exposing every little secret that he once held close. The world now knows that Britney almost had a baby with him, but that he encouraged her not to have it, something that she went through with and regrets to this day. I've not personally read her book yet, however, it's on my wish list, so we will see how terrible this dude really is once I get my paycheck. One thing that was revealed that is public knowledge is just how much shame Britney felt when Justin released the song Cry Me a River, which I've already talked about, which directly threw shade and blamed her. Too bad for Britney, it's very good. So many people around the world listen to Cry Me a River, where Justin claimed Britney cheated on him, while in the book she revealed the opposite happened and he actually cheated on her. Who knows what really happened? The entire argument is only solved if you choose a side, but I personally don't care, so I will let you be the judge. Number 7, Take Back the Night. It would appear that Justin has been too busy bringing stuff back for him to, do some basic research. When Justin decided to call his next single Take Back the Night, he had no idea that the same name was already trademarked by a foundation for people affected by physical mistreatment that has been holding emotionally charged campus events since the 1970s. Thankfully, the internet exists and an education did take place. Justin was forced to release a public statement apologizing for his actions he wasn't even really aware of. He said, upon the release of his new single Take Back the Night, that he was made aware of an organization of the same name called Take Back the Night Foundation. He took the opportunity to let everyone know that neither his song nor its lyrics have any association with the organization. As he learned more about the Take Back the Night Foundation, he was moved by their efforts to stop violence against women, create safe communities, and encourage respectful relationships for women, something that we all should rally on. He hoped that the coincidence would bring more awareness to the cause. His words did not make things better, considering he admitted to not knowing that the cause even existed, further showcasing the need to spread the word. The foundation sent Justin a letter claiming there would be legal action for using their name without permission, something that was eventually settled outside of court. Number 6, Impressions. Justin is a big fan of impressions, and he loves to do them at the worst times possible. There have been a few award show mishaps thanks to Justin and his ignorance. The first is when Justin imitated Prince following his passing. He took the stage to accept an award on his behalf at the Golden Globes. His impression of Prince was him crouching down so that the mic was over his head and speaking in a terrible high-pitched voice. Another incident took place a couple of years later at the American Music Awards when Justin impersonated Rihanna's mom on stage while accepting an award. He received the award for Best Male R&B Artist. First, he told his family to shut up because they were just screaming up in the balcony. He asked the audience, "How cute is Rihanna's mom?" before doing a Jamaican accent and concluding his speech with the typical "Thanks everybody." Something tells me Justin wanted a chance to do that voice in front of people, a voice that he's probably mumbled to himself time and time again. Number 5. J.K. Rowling. For all you Harry Potter fans, cover your ears because this one's gonna be rough. J.K. Rowling is known for being the author of the much-loved Harry Potter book series that was eventually adapted into 7 gloriously magical movies, and the 5th one. In June 2020, Rowling retweeted an op-ed piece that discussed people who menstruate, apparently taking issue with the fact that the article didn't use the word woman. She tweeted people who menstruate. I'm sure there used to be a word for those people. Someone help me out. Wumben, Wimpund, Woomud. While this tweet garnered massive amounts of backlash from fans, Rowling doubled down on her views in more detail. She tweeted, "If gender isn't real, there's no same-gender attraction." She said, "I know and love trans people, but erasing the concept of gender removes the ability of many to meaningfully discuss their lives." She went on to say that she respected trans people's rights to live any way that they feel is authentic to them. At the same time, her life has been shaped by being a woman. She claimed it wasn't wrong to speak the truth and that she was proud, but like, come on, no. Everyone in the world called JK out for her comments and views, with the live-action Harry Potter stars even taking to Twitter to call out her behavior, standing with the trans community. JK's publishers dropped her from the roster, and the future of her writing career is up in smoke, straight up from the Death Eater's butt. If she had just kept her opinions to herself, maybe The Cursed Child would be an awesome movie instead of a so-so fling. Number 4. CeeLo Green. He saw us driving around town with a girl he loved and he was like an actual terrible person. When I was growing up, I really liked this guy. FU was my anthem, but little did I know that in 2014, this man would turn out to be a terrible person. CeeLo Green was brought into a court case after a woman alleged that he spiked her drink in 2012, and according to CeeLo, he pleaded no contest to the accusations of supplying X to a woman who claims that she does not remember anything between eating sushi with him and waking up in his home the next day. CeeLo posted a very questionable statement that I'm not going to repeat because it actually almost made me throw up. He was basically arguing why what he did wasn't really what he did, but it was. He later apologized for the comments and eventually shut down his Twitter account, but the backlash was strong. Since then, CeeLo's been blacklisted from Hollywood, and considering he's barely made any music since, he's probably not going to be getting any Grammys anytime soon. Number 3, IShowSpeed. Darren Watkins, who's better known by his YouTube handle IShowSpeed, made headlines a few weeks ago after he accidentally exposed his Reginald VelJohnson on a live stream. The rapper and media influencer had just returned from a trip to Japan, and fans tuned in excitement to see him return to the gaming world and watch as he played a round of Five Nights at Freddy's. When he was startled by a character, he stood up to yell only for his pants to fall down. He sat down and immediately closed the live stream. His account, which had millions of subscribers, was frozen and underwent a review from the powers that be. Following the slew of negative comments he received online, he went on an anger-filled rant in another statement telling his fans to stop talking and shouting a lot of F words I'm not allowed to say online. What is happening right now? Twitter has since lit up with comments from people asking why they're being blamed for him not knowing how to use a belt. The most recent news is that his channel will not be banned despite his blatant violation of their guidelines, but considering the amount of hate this guy got, I can't imagine the channel's going to be very active for much longer. Number 2, Colleen Ballinger. Former YouTuber and terrible woman Colleen Ballinger was accused by several of her fans of being a creepy creepo who just wants to be their friend. Colleen is best known for her character Miranda Sings on YouTube, who was so popular that she got her own Netflix series. If you want to watch that though, you'll need a VPN because I'm not sure where that exists anymore. She was basically messaging her fans to deliver so-called advice when she was actually just trying to manipulate them into being her little minions, not the little guys from Despicable Me, the fun ones. There was a massive amount of proof in the pudding. Fans had screenshots of conversations, with one fan claiming that she sent him lingerie as a joke because that's hilarious. Following the instant backlash from the world, she decided to post an apology video online where she plays a ukulele, because yes, after this woman is shown being weird to kids, she should sing about it to make it better. In response to the cringiest apology video of all time, people resurfaced a video of her that really should have gotten her canceled way back when a few years ago ago, she decided it would be a fun idea to put on blackface and dance to Beyonce's Single Ladies on stage, because it's just the roughest clip I've ever seen in my life, and no one at that show was like, oh, this is a little uncomfortable. And at number 1, Kanye West. Oh shocker, it's the king of controversy at number 1. I know he goes by Ye now, but I don't care. Kanye may be a famous rapper, but we can agree that he is now best known for being Kim Kardashian's crazy ex-husband. In 2019, Kanye released a series of tweets just, so full of demonetizable content. He said horrible things about several races and religions to the point where his account was shut down and banned by Twitter. His account went dark and dominoes of bad luck began falling down one after the other. His shoe brand was discontinued, his wife cheated on and divorced him, his best friend in the whole world got kicked out of the office and replaced by Joe Biden. I'd feel bad, but again, I don't care about him.
Kim Kardashian is a mean girl, but she's gotten what's coming to her many times. That's why we're going to count down our list of the top 10 Kim Kardashian moments that prove karma is real. Starting off, we have the Taylor Swift phone call. One of the most iconic VMA moments to ever happen was in 2009 when Taylor Swift was accepting her VMA for Best Female Video. Suddenly, in the middle of her speech, Kanye West stormed the stage and took the microphone from her and said the infamous line, "Yo Taylor, I'm really happy for you, I'ma let you finish, but Beyonce has one of the best videos of all time." Now this created a feud, and it appeared that the pair had seemingly made up in 2015 after being seen together at an award show and posting on social media, but that changed in 2016. Kanye dropped his song Famous, which had the line, "Me and Taylor might still have why I made that be famous." Now he claimed that he had Taylor's permission, which she denied. However, Kim stepped in to defend her then husband, saying that Taylor totally approved that, and then went a step further by releasing a video of a phone call between Taylor and Kanye in which you can hear them discussing the song in question. Kim then made the internet turn against Taylor and had people flood Taylor's comments with snake emojis. Taylor then went into hiding, but in 2020 it was revealed that the video Kim had posted was edited. Taylor then broke her silence about the video through an Instagram story where she lightly shaded Kim by writing that she was telling the truth the whole time and that somebody, aka Kim, edited and manipulated it to frame her. Since then, a lot of people have turned on Kim and Kanye, and they hate them for trying to frame Taylor. Next up is her robbery. In October 2016, Kim was robbed at weapon point in her Paris hotel room, with around $10 million worth of jewelry being taken. Kim had been staying at the Hotel de Portels for Paris Fashion Week when the masked men broke in. They tied her up and duct taped her mouth and eyes shut. Then, during a sit-down interview with David Letterman in 2020, Kim described the evening as 7 or 8 minutes of torture. Thankfully, Kim did not sustain any physical injuries during the heist, but she was left mentally scarred by the ordeal and had flashbacks and anxiety attacks. It was later revealed that the intruders, a group of men in their 60s and 70s, had been planning the burglary for 2 years before the attack and had used her social media pages to organize the heist in its entirety. French police said that Kim's use of Snapchat may have alerted the robbers to the jewelry that she had with her in Paris, as well as the fact that she was in her hotel room alone. Then there's Kanye harassing her. So we all know that Kim harassed Taylor Swift, but Kanye West ended up harassing her, giving her a taste of her own medicine. On February 7th, 2022, Pete Davidson publicly called Kim his girlfriend for the first time in a video interview with People. "I either just hang with my friends or chill with my girlfriend inside," he casually told the outlet. Then they became more public with their relationship, but in August 2022 they broke up. According to E! News, who first broke the story, the pair's busy work schedules and being long distance contributed to their decision to part ways. Now, part of this breakup probably though had to do with Kanye. It seemed like Kanye was obsessed with this couple. Kanye wrote a song about Pete and how much he hates him, and in the music video he literally ended Pete's life. He bullied Pete all over the internet and went on tangent after tangent on social media about Kim, often leaving her in tears. Now let's talk about North West. Kim's first child, North West, sure is something. She's pretty much a copy of her father, Kanye West. Kim has shed light on North's outgoing personality and admitted that she takes after her father, who is certainly no stranger when it comes to pushing boundaries. Kim said, "Absolutely, I mean North West is Kanye West's daughter. Forget that, she's his twin. She's blunt with her mother, telling her when her outfit looks bad, and she tells people her mom's secrets." Now when speaking about North on her show, Kim said, "North is really special and smart and creative and definitely beats to her own drum. Her personality is really silly." She continued by saying, "Kourtney always says that North is my lesson on this planet. It means I'm supposed to learn more patience. She teaches me patience. She has taught me a lot about life." Now it seems like North could be her karma.
At number 5, we have Courtney Love. Courtney Love once tried to claim that she cracked the code on the missing Malaysian air flight. However, she was just looking at photos of boats. Back in 2014, the singer would post, "I'm no expert, but close up, does this look like a plane in an oil slick?" She then went on to post evidence in a diagram of the photos where she believed the plane was. A fan would later zoom up on the pictures and say, "Sometimes our eyes see what we want them to see." The picture would then show a boat, and the fan would know, although it was an interesting note, it looks more like the other boats in the area, but keep up the good work. That one was definitely embarrassing for the star, to the point that she hasn't been so vocal on her conspiracies since. At number 4, we have Rob Kardashian. So you think because Rob's family knows how to run social media that he would have learned the power it could have. Now, in Rob's defense, we have all lied about applying to schools just to keep our parents happy. But let this be a warning, maybe don't lie about it on Twitter because you might get busted by the school you said you applied to. Back in 2012, when Rob would tweet that he was going to law school very soon, he was excited to attend, and then he went on to tag the University of Southern California. While some were quick to congratulate the reality TV star, USC came out to say that it was news to them and that he wasn't going to their school as he never even applied. While everyone was having a good poke at the star for that one, I think it's a good time to remind Rob to be careful out there because you never know who's gonna call you out on your next lie. At number 3, we have Kim Kardashian. Back in 2015, Kim got called out by Armani on Twitter for not knowing how to spell Giorgio's name. The incident started over Kim being upset about the brand's discontinuing her favorite foundation and how she was on her last bottle and wanted the company to continue making it so it wouldn't be a huge inconvenience for her. Now, in the tweet she did write, "Why is Giorgio Armani discontinuing my favorite foundation?" and spelled Giorgio's name as Georgio. Armani would then tweet to the star saying to let them know what foundation she needed and they would send it out to her. They also threw a little shade at the star by telling her how to spell Mr. Armani's name as Giorgio. While there are other world issues other than a discontinued bottle of foundation, Kim, she was definitely embarrassed online for that one. At number 2, we have Gal Gadot. Actress Gal Gadot received a lot of backlash after her tribute to Stephen Hawking was seen as insensitive towards the disabled community. The star would tweet that she wished he was free of any physical constraints and that his brilliance and wisdom would be cherished forever. Fans were quickly to come for the star as they had an issue with the fact that she said Stephen's passing finally freed him from his physical constraints. Twitter user Adam B. Zimmerman would come out to say that Stephen's disabilities didn't stop him from changing the world and that people with disabilities don't wish to be free from their challenges, they wish to be valued for what they can do and not pitied for what they can't do. And many other users would beg the star to delete her insensitive tweet. And at number 1 today, we have Doja Cat. Doja Cat was almost cancelled after fans accused the star of participating in anti-Semitic chat rooms using some inappropriate language. Just days after the star landed her first Billboard #1 hit, she was accused of allegedly participating in the chatting platform called Tiny Chat. In viral footage, the singer could be heard making suggestive comments and also using some pretty insensitive words to call out the black community on the site.
I'm gonna start with, I'm very sorry to anybody who's taken offense, to anybody who I've hurt.
It's a music video by FKA Twigs that I've do it.
Let's take your work all night.
The star would then come forward to say that she's been using the site since she was a kid and she shouldn't have been using some of the rooms and that she was sorry if she offended anyone. Doja Cat's actions would cause her to be unfollowed by majority of her fan base, but that wouldn't be the only time the star would be humbled, as back in July, Doja would message Stranger Things actor Noah Schnapp about his Stranger Things co-star.
Number 10. Katherine Heigl. Kathy was riding high back in 2007. The former Grey's Anatomy star not only won an Emmy for Best Supporting Actress in a Drama Series, but she also started transitioning to the big screen with the success of her first feature comedy Knocked Up alongside comedy legend Seth Rogen. Unfortunately, her rise to the top quickly became a free fall into a volcano following an ill-fated Vanity Fair interview the following January. In the interview, Katherine made a move that still has a lot of people scratching their heads to this day. She openly bashed the film that made her famous, claiming that it painted women as true, humorless, and uptight, while also placing blame on Seth Rogen for writing the men in the story as lovable, goofy, fun guys. The film still sits at an impressive 89% on Rotten Tomatoes because, while she might claim that it was a problematic movie, the final product is fun, it's a love story, it's filled with good jokes, performances, it's a great movie. If you've never seen it, you should check it out. Seth felt betrayed by the comments as they never had a fight on set and never seemed like she was uncomfortable at any point. These comments, combined with some negativity towards her Grey's Anatomy writers, caused her agents to drop her as a client, and her time in Hollywood slowly came to a halt. These days, she stars in the CBS comedy Our House, but it's looking like she might never return to the big screen again. Number 9. Roseanne Barr. In the late 80s, Roseanne starred in a sitcom titled after herself, and she starred alongside Hollywood heavyweight John Goodman in the series that followed the couple's everyday lives as a working-class family. The show aired for 230 episodes and eventually got canceled in the mid-90s. The show was eventually revived in 2018 as the same wholesome content for a new generation. Unfortunately for Roseanne, sitcom producers have Twitter. Her show was quickly re-canceled only a few hours following Barr posting a tweet about Valerie Jarrett, telling the world that she was the product of Planet of the Apes and a certain brotherhood having a baby. She later apologized for the tweets, but the damage was done. ABC Entertainment President Channing Dunny said in a statement that Roseanne's Twitter statement is abhorrent, repugnant, and inconsistent with their values. Barr actually defended her tweets, saying that they weren't racist, but in fact were just jokes, because you know those can be the same thing, Roseanne. Number 8. Jussie Smollett. In January of 2019, famous actor Jussie Smollett walked into a Chicago police precinct and reported that he had just been the victim of a hate crime. He told the police that two strangers began shouting racial slurs at him. While one was yelling, the other was pouring the chemical bleach onto him before they both held him down and tied a rope around him. He claimed to have suffered severe rope burn and was physically ill from the experience. As we all know, that isn't exactly what happened. The so-called strangers were actually two brothers who worked with Jussie on the set of the hit series Empire, and according to inside sources, Jussie paid the brothers $3,500 each to help him stage the event, planning every single detail right down to the precinct visit. The proof that all this was a ruse made up for publicity was the fact that the altercation conveniently took place directly in front of a security camera. An investigation took place that found ample evidence that Smollett had set himself up. They found receipts from the ropes used during the altercation that were left in the assailant's home. Way to hide the evidence. There was also security footage taken from a store where the brothers can be seen trying on and purchasing ski masks, gloves, and red hats. I would pay anything to see that footage. It would just be hilarious now. At the end of the day, Jussie was forced to serve 150 days in prison and pay the Chicago Police Department over $300,000 for wasting their time and resources. So, but by the way, if anyone gets mad for how I pronounce his name, just remember, he faked a hate crime. Maybe focus on that. Number 7, Dave Chappelle. Dave Chappelle dominated the comedy scene in the 90s and the early 2000s. His stand-up was considered to be the most gut-busting and entertaining around, and his role in films like The Nutty Professor, Robin Hood Men in Tights, and of course the cult classic, one of my favorites, Half-Baked. He took a bit of a break from starring in films to focus on his family and his true passion, stand-up comedy. Despite being on stage for like 12 years, Dave never really learned to follow suit with the times, because there were certain topics that just became a little rude to joke about. And a lot of jokes considered to be funny in the 80s and 90s have not aged well, and unfortunately that seemed to be all the material Dave had. In one of his more recent Netflix specials, Dave decided it was his time and his stage and he could do whatever he wanted, and apparently what he wanted to do was make fun of the LGBTQ+ community, spewing trashy jokes that aren't worth quoting or repeating or googling, just they were bad. If you're curious how bad, they were rough enough to have Dave's fans turn on him immediately. Netflix CEO Ted Sarandos actually defended the comedian, claiming that he had artistic freedom even after a group of Netflix employees and transgender advocates staged a virtual walkout. He later apologized and said that he handled the situation poorly. Poor Ted, he accidentally supported a bigot. Number 6, Louis C.K. There's not much to say about this guy. He was once a giant in the world of comedy. He had his own show with his name on it, was in movies and TV shows. He was a busy man, but apparently he was also being the creepiest creep to ever live. Hours before his film I Love You Daddy was set to premiere, it was pulled from theaters, and it turned out Louis was being canceled and publicly outed as a few things that I'm not allowed to say on the internet. Let's just call him slimy. For many years, Louis would use his status as a boss and a comedian to intimidate and mistreat his female counterparts. According to the accounts, he would take women aside and ask them if they'd like to watch him feed his geese, as Bubbles would say. Even when they would say no, he'd just whip it out and do it anyway. Several women recounted him blocking their exits as he did his thing, physically forcing them to watch. This man was rightfully fired from all TV shows and films, his comedy tour was canceled, his agent dropped him off a cliff, and he's now the slimiest man in Hollywood. Number 5, Time's Up. Sometimes people should really think before they do stuff, like when Justin and his wife Jessica Biel posted photos of themselves wearing #TimesUp pins on their way to the Golden Globes in 2018. Now yes, at that time, there was a ton of online presence for the Time's Up movement. Most celebrities in attendance at the awards show that year were wearing nothing but black and wearing the support pins. The reason people were upset with Justin was because he had just started a project with Woody Allen. For those who may have forgotten, the Time's Up movement was an initiative by women in Hollywood calling for a change in the treatment of women across the board. Woody Allen is a controversial man because of a 1992 investigation into the concerns that he had physically mistreated his daughter Dylan Farrow. Woody was never formally charged with the accusations, but they followed him everywhere he went. This led many people online to call Justin out for the hypocrisy of wearing this pin while working with Woody Allen. Justin was blissfully unaware of the controversy, but apologized for it nonetheless. Number 4. Vegas. When Justin sat down for an interview with Beats Radio 1, he talked about his new album Man of the Woods, family life, and his career path. When he was asked about the possibility of taking up residency in Las Vegas, he responded by saying it was something to consider if he ever wanted to retire, that is. He continued saying that it would feel like planning a retirement, and for some reason that was scary for him to think about. A lot of performers have purchased property in Las Vegas, not as a retirement spot, but as a home base whenever they're performing for extended periods of time. The comments were considered to be very rude, especially to anyone that is not a celebrity living in Las Vegas. According to Justin, everyone in town is in their retirement stage and they're just all old people walking with canes. He's received a fair share of backlash for the comments, but has yet to purchase property in town, so now we'll see, maybe he'll do it just to save face. Number 3. Janet Jackson. In 2004, a wardrobe malfunction shook the world because it was 2004 and it was pretty tame that year. Janet Jackson and Justin were performing together during the halftime show at the Super Bowl when Justin accidentally exposed Janet's left member to the audience. According to Justin's team, he was only meant to remove a rubber part of the costume to reveal a red lace bra. MTV released a statement claiming that the situation was unrehearsed, unplanned, and inconsistent with the assurances they had about the content of the performers. They claimed that they had no idea that this was even happening until the very last minute. In fact, for some reason, Janet received most of the backlash for the event when it was Justin who ripped her shirt off in front of a crowd. Janet released a public apology basically absolving MTV of any wrongdoing, but Justin's apology was just a little harder to watch. At that year's Grammy Awards, Justin took the stage to accept an award for Best Male Pop Performance for Cry Me a River. As I've said, catchy song. In order for him to be allowed on stage, though, he was made to issue a public apology for the Janet Jackson incident. The dumbest thing about the whole thing is that Janet was the one who apologized first when she basically had no control over what was happening. Meanwhile, Justin was just given a little love tap on the wrist and sent off to do whatever he does. Number 2. Prince in general. Now, holograms are slowly becoming more and more normalized in the world. I was at a carnival over the summer and literally saw a row of holographic projectors showcasing company logos and game items, and I can't tell you how confusing and cool that is at the same time. The late great musician Prince made his views on holograms very public before he passed away. In his world, the idea of projecting a hologram, especially someone who has passed away, is demonic. It's like you're taking their soul and exploiting it. So when Justin started talking about using a hologram of Prince to perform alongside of him at the Super Bowl, Prince's former drummer and his ex-fiancée told him that that was not happening. Prince made his views very clear and his wishes are no fakers. Justin initially agreed, but instead of performing with a hologram, a compromise was made where a large sheet was dropped over the stage and a projection of Prince singing a track from his Purple Rain album was thrown on. Now, while it's not a hologram, this is still super creepy and made a lot of people very uncomfortable. Number 1. Jessica Simpson. Betting your friend to do something stupid? Alright, cool, that's fun. Betting your friend to do something to another person? It's kinda gross, so no thank you. Of course, in this case, the bet was made when Justin and his childhood friend Ryan Gosling were 12 years old. The bet was to see who could kiss a certain girl first, and that girl was Jessica Simpson. As luck would have it, Jessica and Justin crossed paths a few times over the years and eventually sparked a romantic connection in 2006 following Simpson's split from Nick Lachey. During their brief romance, she recalls a time when she spotted Justin texting someone, like moments after they had just locked lips. To her, this meant that maybe she did a bad job or he was messaging another girl, but it turned out that he was actually texting Ryan Gosling, Ken himself, just to let him know that he lost a bet. She then admitted that she actually had a small crush on Ryan growing up and that Justin was was very lucky to have gotten there first. They of course broke up, but Jessica has very little to say in negative reference to Justin, so sorry I don't have more.
Number 10, we have Robin Thicke. Robin Thicke learned the hard way that mirrors can catch everything, even cheating. When a fan captured a photo at an MTV VMAs after party in New York City, the singer got exposed why he decided to get a little cheeky with the fan. Of course, it didn't go unnoticed. When the fan posted a photo to her Instagram page, many were quick to call out Robin as the mirror behind him captured the star with his hand in a place it shouldn't have been. What made things even worse is that the pair was also seen making out while the star was only a few feet away from his wife at the time, Paula Patton. The photo would then be tweeted to his wife the morning after with a warning message saying, "Look at the reflection, girl." There was definitely no getting away from that one, so let this be a warning that mirrors can catch you at your worst moments, so maybe don't take pictures in front of them. At number 9, we have Bow Wow. When Bow Wow got caught lying about his flight on a private jet, the whole world would be laughing at the star. When the rapper posted a photo to Instagram, he made it seem like he was boarding a private jet to New York to promote his new TV show, Growing Up Hip Hop. However, as soon as the rapper would post the photo, another photo began circulating online claiming that Bow Wow was on a commercial flight alongside fellow passengers. The user would then go on to say, "So this guy, Little Bow Wow, is on my flight to New York," but on Instagram he posted a photo of a private jet claiming he was traveling on that instead of the commercial aircraft. What made matters worse is that one even found Bow Wow used a stock photo from the Fort Lauderdale's VIP transportation site. It's probably best to not lie and always remain 100% authentic to your fans because you never know when one might call you out on it. At number 8, we have Ariana Grande. Ariana Grande found out the hard way that you should always double check translations before you get a tattoo, after the star intended to get 7 rings tattooed on her hand in Japanese translation. When the star uploaded the photo to her Instagram, many were quick to say that the tattoo actually meant a small charcoal grill. Grande of course tried to fix the tattoo, which also seemed to backfire on her as it would now read Japanese barbecue fingers. Luckily for the star, palm tattoos only tend to peel and fade much faster than other tattoos, so she'll have a chance to easily cover it up one day with another tattoo, but before you go and get a tattoo in another language, make sure you do your research because you don't know if you'll end up in a similar situation. At number 7, we have Kris Jenner. So remember that time Kris Jenner shared a photo of herself with chef Gordon Ramsay, and it was so heavily edited that Ramsay's face looked strangely smooth and shiny. Unfortunately, we know that this makeover was a result of a filter and some serious editing because Ramsay would then post another photo where he looked completely different and more natural. Now, the Kardashian-Jenner family clearly loves editing their photos, and their family has been called out numerous times over the last few years. Now, yes, the light wasn't exactly flattering, but both of them look fine, so Kris really didn't need to do any fine-tuning around the edges. Fans were quick to call out Kris, and one even noted that the photo was overly filtered and that Gordon had some serious guts to post the real photos. The fan would then go on to say that it's much shame that they didn't need to look like they were 30 years old. At number 6, we have Charlie Sheen. When Charlie Sheen was dining at a Las Vegas restaurant back in 2011, he decided he wanted to get in touch with Justin Bieber, so he decided it would be smart to send a direct message through Twitter. The actor would go on to write his phone number and told the singer to call him. However, instead of the number being sent by a direct message, it was actually a tweet posted to his page, and his number ended up reaching 5.5 million of his followers. The star quickly started to receive 1,800 text messages and countless phone calls. Now, at first he did play along with it and decided to be a pizzeria each time the phone rang, but that got old quickly and he opted to change his number after having a good laugh at his own mistake.
Moving on to her rough pregnancies. Kim has 4 children, but she only gave birth to 2 of them because of her rough pregnancies. For her last 2 children, she ended up getting a surrogate because it was too dangerous for her. During her second birth, she suffered from placenta erecta, the same condition she experienced with her first pregnancy with daughter North. Now, the Rowdy star opened up about her past pregnancy complications in a post on her website when discussing her concerns about childbirth the second time around. She said, "I was able to get pregnant through that with my son Saint, and then I had 2 embryos left. I had the same condition, same awful delivery that I had with my first daughter," she said in the video. "After that, I had to have 5 different operations within a year and a half to fix the damage that all that did on the inside." Now, both children she birthed were happy and healthy though, and going for a surrogate for the next 2 was probably a good idea. Then there's being called out for Photoshop. Kim has been called out for photoshopping her photos for years now. Now, one of the most shocking times was when she photoshopped photos of her own daughter and nieces, which is just crazy. But some fans were able to spot photos where she removed entire body parts from herself. In August 2022, Kim promoted her collaboration with Beats by Dre with photos and videos of herself enjoying some pool time, but Eagle eagle-eyed TikTok users noticed that the reality star appeared to edit out her trapezius muscles. Kim K is notorious for photoshopping out her traps, the user Caroline began in a video. Why, I don't know, maybe it makes her neck look smaller. In January 2022, Kim posted photos from her Skims swim collection photo shoot, only for fans to immediately notice that her leg appeared warped and featured a curve behind her knee. "Kim, what happened to your leg?" one fan commented, while another hinted on Twitter, Kim, your right leg is." The reality star was quick to delete and then repost the photo without the error, but her followers were quick to take screenshots of the mishap. Now let's talk about the fake flower. In 2012, Kim created a new fragrance and had a launch party for it, but things didn't go as planned. Someone unleashed a flower bomb on Kim, ruining her outfit and yelling what sounded like "lousy fur hag." Now, at the time of the attack, it was speculated that a PETA activist had thrown the flower, as the organization previously condemned Kim's former love of real fur. But recently, Kim's former media strategist claims that her infamous 2012 flower bomb attack was actually a manufactured media moment. A PR professional who worked with Kim starting around 2005 claimed that the incident was an inside job, according to the British Channel 4 documentary, The Kardashians' Billion Dollar Dynasty. Now, sources close to the situation told the Post that Kim was never aware of the move and placed the blame on PETA, the animal rights organization that was originally speculated to be behind the incident. But it wouldn't surprise me if she was behind this, as her career was just starting out and it would give her more media coverage. On to the Met Gala dress drama. When Kim arrived at the 2022 Met Gala in the Marilyn Monroe dress, she revealed that she had to lose 16 pounds in 3 weeks in order to fit into the gown. Now, following this, many slammed Kim for appearing to promote a toxic and dangerous mindset about body image and weight loss. Now, in Kim's defense though, her trainer maintained that she lost the weight in a healthy way. All of this though got covered up with another scandal, as it was claimed that Kim actually damaged and ripped the real Marilyn Monroe dress. She denied it, but a Monroe collector is claiming that the dress has sustained permanent damages as a result, and frustrations have been renewed. Scott Fortner, a collector who works to authenticate and verify Monroe memorabilia, shared photos of the dress that were taken after the Met that appear to show stretched and buckling fabric, along with missing crystals or ones left hanging by a thread. Up next is being kicked off the stage by Prince. On Prince's Welcome To tour, which saw the legendary artist perform over 80 shows from 2010 to 2012, he traveled across North America and cemented his legacy with a series of critically acclaimed shows. Now, on the final night of his Madison Square Garden residency, Prince hunted for someone in the star-studded front rows to join him on stage. He then spotted Kim and asked her to join him on stage, and he immediately began dancing around her. Now, for those of you who don't know, Kim hates dancing, so why she agreed to go on stage, I don't know. She laughed nervously while standing in place and clapping for him before Prince instructed her to get off my stage. Kim later discussed the incident during an episode of Keeping Up with the Kardashians, when she told Ryan Seacrest, "I was just so nervous and I was just like laughing. To my defense, like, didn't Prince watch Dancing with the Stars? Like, I'm not a good dancer." Now, following this moment, Prince and Kim would never meet again. He never forgot her performance on stage with him, as he refused to take part in an episode of New Girl alongside members of her family, according to Zooey Deschanel. And finally, we have the diamond earring. In one of the most iconic scenes in Keeping Up with the Kardashians history, the family was vacationing in Bora Bora in 2011. Kim was with Chris Humphries at the time, and he threw her into the ocean while she was wearing her clothes. Kim then noticed that her $75,000 earrings she was wearing were no longer in her ears. She then begins to cry and turns hysterical. When her sister Kourtney finds out what happened, she iconically exclaims, "There's people that are dying, Kim." Now, Kim explained years later to People magazine why the earrings caused such a reaction. She said, "For years for my birthday, I buy myself a birthday present, and I had upgraded that pair of diamond studs. I worked really hard, I had just gotten them, and I didn't insure them. And imagine if you don't insure something and it's gone. I just threw the money away." Now, her little sister Kylie did find the earrings, but hopefully it put things into perspective for Kim.